Number 10. Lego Sonic. This one's quite unique looking with the Lego body just like the other characters in the Lego games. But this guy's pretty different in terms of personality as well. He's still the same happy-go-lucky speedster, but he also seems to be quite self-aware and actually makes jokes about the real world, as is pretty common in the Lego games. He makes various references to internet memes and various pop culture things like The Simpsons. Is he as funny as Lego Batman? I don't think so, but he's pretty great. Number 9. Archie Sonic. This is the Sonic that we see in the comics by Archie Comics. These comics are quite popular and were around for a whopping 24 years before being cancelled this year. The comics followed two main continuities. From issue 1 to 247, it took place on Mobius, which turned out to actually be a future Earth around the year 14,000. After Mobius was hit with a Genesis wave, Mobius and the alternate realities were all totally changed up, with Mobius looking more like the world found in the Sonic games. Sonic himself is pretty similar in these storylines, and his personality is pretty much the same as in the games, but it's pretty great seeing him in Archie comic style. Plus, the other entries on this list come from these comics, so it's pretty important that you have a grasp on them. Number 8. Stealth the Hedgehog. Stealth comes from Mobius 17, and it's actually based on Spider-Man, which is pretty neat. At first glance, it's hard to tell that he's specifically Spidey, but when you consider that Eggman is Professor Egg and based on Green Goblin, it's much clearer that Sonic is based on Spidey. This version wears a mask and battles against the villainous Professor Egg. Fun fact, there was actually another version of Sonic that straight up wore a Spider-Man costume. Nice! Number 7. Sonarch. Sonarch was an alternate version of Sonic from the Sentai Zone. I repeat, the Sentai Zone, with an S. Do not mishear me and look up something else or you're in for a shock. He was a member of the Sonica Man Chaos Ninja Team who was summoned by ZONIC when Salaktor was attacking. Sonarch was actually based on Ken the Eagle, a member of a superhero team in the anime Gatchaman, as you can kinda tell from the team name Sonicaman. I love parody versions of other characters and Sonic is certainly not without those. Speaking of which, number 6. Soniczilla. As with other members on this list, this Sonic was a parody of another popular character. Can you guess who it is? Yes, it's Godzilla. This Sonic, as well as the other members of the Freedom Fighters from his dimension, was changed into a giant monster by Chaos Emerald radiation and threatened the city. After his father, Juleszilla, was accidentally killed by the real Sonic using the giant Robotno machinery, Soniczilla broke down, mourning the death of his father. It's a pretty sad story, but they were giant mutated things that were destroying the city. And we're kind of asking for it. Number 5. Cyborg Sonic. In this Sonic's dimension, Robo-Robotnik turned the Freedom Fighters into cyborgs in hopes of defeating them, but they used their cybernetic enhancements to fight back. But then Robotnik turned himself into a robot and took out the majority of the fighters, with Cyborg Sonic being the only known survivor. He eventually went to Mobius Prime to get help and managed to defeat Robo-Robotnik, getting by with a little help from his friends, and you know, alternate versions of himself. Something tells me that isn't quite what the Beatles had in mind when they wrote those lyrics. Number 4. Sonic. With a K. This Sonic had a similar origin to our usual Sonic, but this time he was tricked by Robotnik into being fired into space on a rocket. As luck would have it, he ran into some aliens called the Pearl Men who gave him a spacesuit that could let him survive out in space. Then they sent him drifting into space in suspended animation. 1,000 years later, he returned to Mobius and formed the Freedom Fighters of the Galaxy, with various descendants of the Knothole Freedom Fighters. They went on to kick some butt and even take on the planet-devouring Robalactus, who's essentially a combination of Robotnik and Galactus. So like, this is basically Star-Lord Sonic. Cool. Number 3. Anti-Sonic. This is what Scourge was known as before he changed. He's kind of like Prime Sonic if Prime Sonic was a character in Grease, or if he got the Venom symbiote on him and decided to prance around like Tobey Maguire in Spider-Man 3. He killed his father to become the ruler of Mobitropolis with the help of Auntie Sally. He eventually went to Prime Mobius and tried to woo all the sexy females, pretending to be Sonic himself. When he was confronted by Rouge, who saw through him, he absorbed the radiation of the Master Emerald, becoming the Green Scourge. If you watch Top 10 Nerd, you'll know that I love me some evil versions of characters, so this was particularly enjoyable for me. Number 2. Sonog the Bog Hog. Sonog the Bog Hog is the prehistoric version of Sonic from prehistoric Mobius, called the Bog Hog because there weren't any hedges back then apparently. He's the leader of the prehistoric Freedom Fighters, living in fear of attacks from their enemy Ivo Robugnik and the dangerous Mobasaurs. Sonic arrived in this time to find the fighters planning to live underground to hide, which made him worry that he'd change into Sonic the Mole if this past became reality. So he helped them to plant hedges, creating the Great Forest. It's kind of a silly story, but hey, Sonic is often silly, and it's pretty great seeing him with that sick beard. Number 1. ZONIC. ZONIC comes from the no zone, which is 90 degrees from everywhere. Due to the perpendicularity of his zone to other zones, yes that's a word, he often shows up sideways in other realities. He works as a zone cop. A lot of the time when dimension hopping's happening, ZONIC isn't far behind. He's even often the cause of the hopping. He frequently recruits our Sonic to help out in other dimensions because our Sonic is a freaking boss, but he isn't only concerned with Sonic. For example, when Mammoth Mogul was trying to destroy every zone, he called upon the alternate versions of Tails to help him, who merged into Titan Tails to stop Mogul. So yeah, ZONIC's kind of a boss too. Number 10, Shattuck. Or should I say Gogeta, because this is straight up Sonic Gogeta. Shattuck the Hedgehog was seen in the Not-So movies, Not-So Unleashed, and The Return of Not-So. Sonic and Shadow are beaten by Perfect Not-So, then they turn Super Saiyan, they turn Hyper, and they fuse together to become Gogeta, Shattuck. Yeah, it's pretty much exactly the same as Fusion in Dragon Ball, but that doesn't mean it isn't amazing, because it's pretty sick. Number 9, Dark Super Sonic. Now this is a pretty awesome Sonic transformation from the TV show Sonic X. Sonic confronts Narcissus, who seems to have abused Chris and Cosmo. But when Sonic realizes that Chris was unconscious, his color becomes darker and starts getting an aura around him, and he gets angry. And he kicks some butt. What else is there to say? The dude's awesome. Number 8, Hyrule Sonic. Here I thought I'd take this moment to dispel a rumor while showcasing a version of Sonic. After an image was released that seemed to point to Sonic becoming a playable character in the new Zelda game, people got pretty psyched. Playing as Sonic in Zelda is the stuff dreams were made of. Sadly, however, it seems this was just a rumor. The image of Sonic is just from the Sonic Lost World DLC, which is where the true Hyrule Sonic is from. So to the people who are waiting for Sonic to come to Zelda, I'm sorry, but
he's not coming.
Number 7, Sunky.mpeg. Hey, remember Sonic.exe from part 2? Well, this is basically Sonic.exe Lite version. It's another weird side-scroller with bad graphics, although to be fair, they are better than the Sonic.exe graphics, but in Sunky, many of the freakier elements of Sonic.exe aren't there. And most importantly, this version of Sonic is a heck of a lot less creepy than the other kind. He trades in those freaky black eyes for some hilarious looking beady black eyes, but the music is pretty rockin'. There's even a sequel, Silly.tiff, which is a takeoff of Sally.exe. Shocker. Number 6, Ice Cream Sonic. Oh man, I don't know if you guys had these where you're from, but just looking at this makes me so nostalgic. When I heard the Ice Cream Man approaching, I knew it was Sonic time. Or Darth Vader time. But usually Sonic. But I gotta say, I forgot how stupid these things look. Anyway, as you can see, this version of Sonic looks pretty damn terrifying and doesn't go on too many adventures, but my goodness is he ever delicious. Number 5, Shard Sonic. Metal Sonic was introduced into the Sonic comics in Sonic Universe number 41. After initially being built by Robotnik to do his bidding, he was later rebuilt by Sir Charles Hedgehog to help out the Freedom Fighters, changing his name to Shard. He looks really cool, a great mixture of good and evil, plus I really love a redemption story, and Shard certainly doesn't disappoint there. Number 4, Neo Metal Sonic. Speaking of Metal Sonic, he came back in the villain spotlight in Sonic Heroes from 2003 with a new look, and it's a pretty wicked look. He can even transform to get more powerful by changing into his Metal Madness or Metal Overlord forms, both of which look really cool too. But personally, I really dig the Neo Metal look. Let me know what you think in the comments. Number 3, The Murder of Me Sonic. This is the Sonic in the fan-made comic The Murder of Me. It's actually a really neat comic based in the distant past where the ancestors of Sonic and friends were created by one of the 3 gods to destroy the corrupted god and defeat sin. Yeah, it's pretty heavy for Sonic, but the comic itself is actually quite lighthearted. Sonic also looks super different in this one. He's way more humanoid with more human-like proportions and regular street clothes. Check it out if it looks good. Number 2, Mecha Sonic from Sonic 3 and Knuckles. We've talked about other Mecha Sonics in past videos, but this one from Sonic 3 and Knuckles is pretty great. Ironically, the version from one of the earliest games is one of the coolest looking. Obviously it isn't super detailed and leaves some to the imagination, but what is there is pretty badass. My only complaint is the supermodel legs, but Sonic's legs are always pretty ridiculous, so I'll allow it. Number 1, Sonic for Hire. I've gone over some pretty ridiculous Sonics in these videos. They're often funny just because they look stupid or do stupid things or are all around just strange. But Sonic for Hire is a YouTube comedy series where Sonic has to go around finding new jobs to pay the rent. And it's legitimately funny. Like, they wrote funny lines and stuff, which is so refreshing. And Sonic is really dry and sarcastic, which makes it even better. You know, give it a watch if you're interested. Just know that there are some swear words. Number 10. Black Knight Sonic. This is the Sonic from the 2009 Wii game Sonic and the Black Knight, and he's pretty damn cool. Personally, I love watching sword videos. Swords are just so cool, and Sonic with a sword is just plain awesome. As fun as it is to go zipping around, sometimes you just want to slash a nerd with a big old sword. Sadly, it turns out giving Sonic a sword makes it kinda lame because everything slows right down and the game was poorly received. But I think swords just make things better. Swords! Number 9. Boom Sonic. Boom Sonic is totally different from normal Sonic because he has a scarf. Whoa, different character. And in all seriousness, the Sonic from Sonic Boom is pretty cool, with athletic tape on his hands and feet. Plus he's just taller, which is kinda nice, if a bit jarring at first. Personality-wise, Boom Sonic is pretty much the same as always, but I say if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Wow, cookies! I hope this turns out better than the last time someone left baked goods on my doorstep.
All in all, Boom Sonic is pretty cool. Except the scarf. Hate that scarf so much. Number 8. SONICHU. SONICHU is, unsurprisingly, a combination of Sonic and Pikachu. He was a character in a webcomic made by Christian Weston Chandler, and it became something of a meme, because it looks mediocre and it reads kinda like it was written by a 5-year-old. For example, you know how SONICHU came to be? Sonic and Pikachu were attacking the same thing and bumped into each other and combined into one being. Yeah, the rest of the comic isn't very good either, with the author doing a big ol' Mary Sue and inserting himself into the comic as some superpowered, super intelligent character that's amazing at everything. That said, if you are interested, all the comics can be found online. They're just kinda lame. Number 7. Sonic the Werehog. Sonic the Werehog is one of the most badass versions of Sonic ever. I mean, technically he's more of a transformation than a version, but he's sick, so deal with it. In Sonic Unleashed, Sonic accidentally absorbs a bunch of Dark Gaia's energy, causing him to transform into a werehog at night. What's a werehog? Basically a combination of Sonic and Sully from Monsters Inc. Except he ain't goofy, he's just fierce as hell. When he changes, he loses his super speed, but what he loses in speed, he makes up for in brute strength. He also inexplicably gains the ability to stretch his arms out. Bottom line, he gets bigger, hairier, stronger, and way more badass. Number 6. SKYLINE Sonic. This one was actually suggested in the comment section of the last video, and after looking into it, it's really cool. Thanks, Sega Master 172. Sonic Skylines is a gallery created by Draw Lover Lala that goes over a version of Mobius where Sonic is given the ability to run along clouds, which is pretty darn awesome. There's even a fan-made comic of this fan-made gallery drawn by Tail3211 and written by Wickedly Elfie that shows Sonic getting this power from none other than Eggman. Check out the webcomic if you like Sonic. There are a few typos here and there, but the art is really cool. Although you've probably been seeing the art while I'm saying this, but check it out anyway. It's really nice. Number 5. Hypersonic. In the last video I talked about Supersonic. Well, I talked about 2 different Supersonics, but this time around it's Hypersonic's time to shine. Hypersonic was seen in Sonic the Hedgehog 3 and Knuckles. Activating Hypersonic is no small feat. You need to obtain all 7 Super Emeralds. But if you do it, you're rewarded, because Hypersonic is even better than Supersonic. He's faster, stronger, and totally immune to enemy attacks. Sadly, Hypersonic was just in the one game, but he was arguably in the comics as well, which brings me to my next point. Number 4. Ultrasonic. I know the names are different, but it's pretty darn similar to Hypersonic. In the comics, Ultrasonic appeared alongside Hyper Tails, leading many to believe that this is more or less the same as Hypersonic, just with a different name, for whatever reason. If you know the reason, let me know in the comments, I'm curious. Ultrasonic gets a huge boost in strength and speed, and is basically invulnerable. He can even control the bonds of atoms, allowing him to do things like turning air into water, or maybe turn water into wine. Ultrasonic is Jesus, confirmed! Number 3. DARKSPINE Sonic. DARKSPINE Sonic looks just as cool as his name sounds, and that's pretty damn cool. He was first introduced in Sonic and the Secret Rings for the Wii when Sonic used the World Rings of Rage, Hatred, and Sadness. He becomes a lot more aggressive and mean, gets stronger, can control fire and fly, but most importantly, he looks frickin' amazing. His eyes go white, he gets racing stripes, his voice gets all gruff, and he gets this flaming aura around him. Look at that, it's so cool! Number 2. Metal Sonic. Metal Sonic is an antagonist in many a Sonic game, and he looks so fetch.
Stop trying to make fetch happen. It's not going to happen.
Oh yes, I will make fetch happen. Sleek, lean, with black eyes, and oh, Metal Sonic actually looks a lot like Sonics.exe from part 2. Anyway, Metal Sonic was of course created by Dr. Eggman, built to put an end to Sonic once and for all. I'll let you guess how well that worked out. It didn't. Despite failing to defeat Sonic time and time again, Metal Sonic is still a really awesome version, and frankly I think it's pathetic that this loser host took so long to put him into a video. What an idiot. Number 1. Crystal Sonic. If I'm talking about Metal Sonic, I ought to talk about his reformed version as well, Crystal Sonic. Crystal Sonic comes from the ARCHIE comics, first appearing in Sonic Universe number 85. The Nagas twins captured the robot and used their magic to make it work for them. This gave him more of a crystalline appearance, and honestly, he looks way cooler like this. Sadly, he reverted back to Metal Sonic under Eggman's control after taking a big hit. But we'll always remember you, Crystal Sonic.
I will remember you.
Number 10. Sonic Man. Sonic Man appears in the 2006 Sonic the Hedgehog game, and he's, well, a man who dresses like Sonic. Well, he has big white gloves, a blue spiked helmet, and a Sonic t-shirt. As unconvincing as it may seem, he actually claims to be the real Sonic, believing Sonic himself to just be a fan dressed up. Luckily, you can crush him in a race and put him in his place, and then he'll ask to be your apprentice. But he can't, because he's weird. Number 9. Nikki. This one might be a bit of a cheat, but I think it counts, and you'll see why. Nikki is the main character in Shogakukan's Korokoro comic special stories. He seems like an unassuming geeky guy, but unbeknownst to him and everyone around him, he has one rather speedy alter ego. Yep, turns out he's Sonic. Even though in his normal form, Nikki is rather weak and cowardly, when he turns into when he turns into Sonic, he becomes a butt-kicking superhero, and he's boss. Number 8. Sonic.exe. This is actually a version of Sonic that originated in a creepypasta story from 2011. It tells a story of a mysterious and evil Sonic game where the version of Sonic within was a murderous psychopath, chasing down his friends and eventually catching the player in the real world. There was even a game created by MY5T Crimson, or I assume Mist Crimson, based on the story. It's a pretty terrifying looking version with black eyes, red pupils, and blood dripping from the eyes, and the story itself is pretty creepy. Not as creepy as the Russian sleep experiment, but still creepy. Number 7. Sonex the Hodgehead. Sonex the Hodgehead is a protagonist of the YouTube series called, as you may have guessed, Sonex the Hodgehead. He fights to stop the evil Dr. Robotnik from turning his friends into robots. He looks pretty different and actually changes based on the animator, but he generally looks weird. But he's got some pretty wicked glutes. Number 6. Super Sonic. Super Sonic is a powered up version of Sonic appearing in Fleetway's Sonic the Comic. After being exposed to evil energy, whenever Sonic is under stress or exposed to chaos energy, this psychotic entity takes over, bringing a whole lot of power, but also a whole lot of anger. He's super aggressive, has a pretty nasty sense of humor, and isn't afraid to put innocents in danger. He's kind of like Sonic's Hulk transformation, and he's a pretty awesome version, but not as awesome as... Number 5. Super Sonic. Wait, what? Yep, there's another one. But this one's quite different. This Super Sonic is somewhat more clearly a takeoff on the Super Saiyan transformation from the Dragon Ball series, and it's pretty sick. Rather than being an unwanted evil transformation, this is a huge power-up for Sonic that he was able to use by harnessing the power of the 7 Chaos Emeralds. This is the version found in the Sonic games, and while I love me some Hulk Sonic, this version is just so sick. Plus I've seen it more, so I'm just partial to it. Sue me. Number 4. SANIC HEGEHOG. SANIC is a meme version of Sonic that took the internet by storm in 2010 after YouTuber Onyx Hart made a video showing how to draw SANIC HEGEHOG. To call his drawing mediocre would be incredibly kind. It was pretty crap. But it was just so terrible and hilarious that everyone started referencing it, making pictures, comics, and videos all with a stupid looking Sonic, often saying, "Gotta go fast." It's totally juvenile, but I laugh every single time. Number 3. Underground Sonic. This version of Sonic found in Sonic Underground is quite different from other versions in that he can frickin' shred on the guitar. And also, turn the guitar into a laser rifle to shred his enemies. He also has different companions working with his siblings Sonya and Manic rather than his normal freedom fighter pals. And when they aren't kicking bad guy butt, they're rocking our socks off in their underground band. Number 2. Blonic. Blonic is another popular fan-made character who I suppose might be breaking the rules of this list because he's absolutely not a version of Sonic, but rather an original character, at least according to him. Blonic is just so silly and amazing. Go ahead and watch some of the videos, they're great. Number 1. King Sonic. Okay, I know I said I'd be stepping away from Archie, but I didn't say there would be no Archie. King Sonic was the king of Mobius in a possible future. He was married to Queen Sally Acorn and had 2 kids named Sonya and Manic. Not to be mistaken with Sonya and Manic from Sonic Underground, because, well, Manic is spelled with a K in this one. Plus, they're royalty. King Sonic traveled back in time to seek help, but when he got back, King Shadow had taken his place. But Sonic went, ah hell nah, and he and his friends kicked Shadow out of there. He's a pretty cool version of Sonic. He doesn't look super different, but the crown and the cape just make him look so much more regal, which makes sense, I guess.